As far as the business world goes, my background's probably a little unconventional. So I've always had an interest in entrepreneurship along with my interest in science. When I graduated with my bachelor's degree at the end of 2017, I applied for PhD programs. I decided not to go to medical school, and getting a PhD would, of course, be important to be driving research in this field. And I had everything that everyone tells you you need to be a competitive applicant for a top graduate program. And yet I applied to 10 or maybe even over 10 PhD programs, and I got rejected to every single one without a single interview. So there was clearly something that I didn't know. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So I spent a couple years taking some time away, and decided with the COVID pandemic, I said, you know what, I'm going to try this again, and try this PhD application thing again. And that time around, I was able to win fully funded PhD offers to both Oxford and Cambridge. So I kind of figured out while I've been here working on the research, there are so many other people in the world who are wanting to make a positive impact in whatever way, like me, but come from a world completely outside of sort of this ivory tower, if you will. I really wanted to find a way in a much more accessible way to enable people to learn and sort of simplify the extremely complicated application process. And so last autumn, I decided, I'm going to make a digital product, a digital toolkit of different, mostly PDF guides, but also some video lessons, really bringing people through each part of a master's or PhD application at Oxford and Cambridge. Now I've been 10 months into business, and I officially, yesterday was the last day of July 2024, and I, just in the nick of time, I beat my monthly revenue record. So that was my second 10K month. And so now, 10 months into business, I've surpassed $65,000 in revenue. Yeah, when I looked into it more, my gut feeling, this is a lot of money. I've never invested this much into something, but also this seems like it would really work for my audience. That's what I've been surprised by and impressed with, I think, about the circuit sales system is I am convinced now that I think it works for almost any niche. I haven't found any sort of sales system or people in online business selling business solutions where anything about anyone in higher education is mentioned. So it's always an outstanding question for me. But also, it becomes an outstanding question. Does this work for my audience? Because this is very new. Like Gen Z has only just become sort of a powerhouse as consumers with disposable income. And so far, I think I'm finding that it works quite well. And they are also allergic to being sold to. And this is one of the things that really attracted me about the CSS when I first started seeing advertisements about it, because I knew people, this audience more so than I think a lot of audiences, they need to really feel like you're building a relationship and also getting a lot of free value up front. Let's see, I got the circuit sales system, I think at the end of January, and then took a couple months to put things together. But I was able to launch my Oxford Scholarship Success course, is what it's called, the OSSC, and the free training, the Lightbulb video with that on the 1st of April of this year. And so then by the end of April, I had my first 10K month. Because of the circuit sales system, for sure. To reach that milestone within a month of launching was pretty crazy. I also had some personal things that came up, and I really had to take a step away from my business. And it was really great between having her from the additional revenue that the circuit sales system enabled me to have with the OSSC, and then the passivity of selling with the CSS allowed me to take that step back and still yes, I made a little bit less, but still a significant amount that was still kind of crazy. Sometimes I had to come to my computer in the beginning of the day, even if I wasn't doing that great, and be like, this is insane that I'm basically not looking at this at all, except my Slack in the beginning of the day when Edeline messages me telling me, by 9 a.m, I've taken care of everything today already. that I could go, spend 4 or 5 days at a conference in my field, and go home, and see my family, see my sisters for the first time in over a year, and still have this going in the background. And really, I think that's been such a blessing for me. Money aside, like to continue to make that revenue is amazing, but also that the business doesn't just fall in shambles because I need to personally take some time away. And so that mentally I could actually take care of myself. Yeah, it has been awesome. Something I encountered that I didn't really hear anyone talking about, and maybe this is just part of having such like early success that I had. I think I was able to make 5 figures in 5 weeks or something when I started, when I launched my toolkit. So I basically was kind of suffering from like overactivation of my nervous system. Like I didn't really know what to do with myself. It was and like that's kind of what happens with the circuit sales system too. Like you just keep it seeing it come in, and you I don't know, you get like so much pent up energy. And I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just like so beside myself about this. So I kind of like, it's a good problem to have. I think finding community is super important. And I do think like, for example, the Facebook group with the circuit sales system and like being able to attend these coaching calls does, like know that the main purpose of these is not necessarily first and foremost to be creating a community with students, but I still kind of felt that, and really, with the coaching calls like I've been to, was really impressed with like, wow, this is just like a group of genuine hardworking business people who are not just here because they want to like make a bunch of money and go, you know, do whatever. Like they really want to help the people that they're serving, and that's why they're here. And people are thoughtful, but also like the ability to get very personal feedback on the copywriting you're doing, like directly from copywriters in this Facebook group, was just fantastic. The passivity that the circuit sales system allows you to achieve also works really well for people like me who are what are called multi-potentialites. And what I think that's the title of the book. Actually, there's a book about this that I read earlier this year. But it's basically for people, if you haven't heard about it before, the concept. Basically, it's people like me who've gone most of their life and they've been made to feel by society like something's wrong with them because they find it hard to really like stick with one thing and one thing only for a very long time. You know, a lot of different interests, and have a hard time figuring out a way to make that work in their life and still feel fulfilled, make enough money, etc. And I think with the way I've been able to set this up in assisted by the circuit sales system, like you said, I'm able to like have these two pretty different things going on, and I don't feel like I have to quit science necessarily in order to run this. With my journey to a PhD, with my journey with this business so far, it's been so easy at so many junctures to doubt if you're doing the right thing, if it's going to work out. And I've just continually found again and again that if you truly believe this is what you want to do, if you truly believe this is going to help people and serve them, and you're listening to your gut about it, that one way or another, eventually, it is going to happen. It's going to work out.